Good afternoon, I'm Vashon Brown with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. I remind as well that you can watch TVJ live by downloading our One Spot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1 followed by the words Spot Media. Several measures are being considered by the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, amid growing concern about violence in schools, including attacks on its members. Members of the association say the incidents have left students and school administrators fearful. JTA President Howard Isaacs told the TVJ News that the association will present strategies to the government.
To work within schools, and that's there now. We are continuing, we are going back to the bargaining table, we are having the dialogue with the government, we are looking at strategies. We don't necessarily have all the strategies. We have to do the consultation, we have to do the research to see what we can do, because we are, as I said earlier, we are just concerned. And concern here means that we are perturbed by what is happening.
The latest incidents of school violence occurred last week at Porus High when a dispute between 2 students turned deadly, and at Camperdown High when 2 male students allegedly assaulted a female teacher over a cell phone. The 2 students have been suspended. The incident triggered a silent protest by teachers at the school on Friday. And the JTA president issued this word of advice to the association's members in the wake of the recent developments.
Now we're asking our colleagues to be on their guard, to be on their watch, and to just be professionals as best as they possibly can as we look at the measures that we can adopt to bring about the change that is required.
The 4th Vauxhall High teacher who is accused of pinning down a male student and forcibly cutting his hair nearly 2 weeks ago is to appear in court today. Paul Grosset was charged on Friday with assault occasioning bodily harm and unlawful wounding. The other teachers, Carl Samuels, Fabian Brown and Jerome Grosset, who are facing similar charges, appeared in the St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday. The case will continue on July 20. Shootings continued unabated in Clarendon this morning with the killing of a man and the injuring of another in Maypen. Dead is 46-year-old Egbert Williams of Windsor Avenue in the parish. Reports are that about 1:30, Mr. Williams was sitting on his bicycle near the clock in Maypen when 2 men, one of whom was armed with a handgun, walked up to him and opened fire, hitting him in the upper body. A 53-year-old taxi operator who was nearby was shot in the leg. Meanwhile, a concerned community member is urging the government to intervene to stem the bloodshed.
Come on, Security Minister, do something. Do something to get to you with them. You know, see them out there in a Clarendon, so look how much murder go on, and I see nobody can condemn no murder. I want to know. Come on, Security Minister, Prime Minister, you all on, man. There's better plan for crime, man.
What started out as a routine trip to the river to wash clothes turned into a nightmare for a family after a relative drowned in a river in Esher District, St. Mary yesterday. The deceased has been identified as St. Mary Technical High student, 15-year-old Trishan Barrett. Reports are that about 1:45 Sunday afternoon, the teen and 4 family members went to wash at the river when Trishan went under a bridge and slid into a hole. She encountered difficulties and drowned after attempts to rescue her failed.
I'm sure about it up and she come back down again and shoot me back down and I go back up here and he shoot me down and I'm more journey. So I try to fight me. So I can't come out this stone and I slide off and she grab my foot and me and I would have go down in there and fight myself and come back on this stone. When I grab her for him and I run out a bit. I try to grab her back and can't grab her back and I get weak out.
So we were there washing. And she walked off from where we were washing and go under the bridge. And I was talking to her. She slid away. And when we look over, we see she dipped 3 times. And when she dipped the 3rd time, we see she didn't come back up. My son-in-law was trying to save her, but he could not because she was hanging around his neck, and he let her go.
The Constant Spring police are still investigating the murder of a British woman and her boyfriend on Red Hills Road, St. Andrew on Saturday. Dead are Lincoln Francis from Burnt Hill District in the parish and Norma Jones, otherwise called Empress, a British national. Both are 26 years old. Reports are that about 10:06 p.m., residents heard an explosion and alerted the police. Upon arrival of the lawmen, Mr. Francis and Miss Jones were found with multiple gunshot wounds. They were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. National Security Minister Robert Montague says the government is moving to change the policy that says if an officer is not serving in the line of duty, he or she cannot be buried with full police honors. He was speaking at the funeral service for the late Assistant Commissioner of Police Wintroy Bodu at the Palmer's Cross Seventh-day Adventist Church in Clarendon yesterday.
A police officer is always on duty, and if he dies in the line of duty or if he dies as a police officer, he must be buried with full honors. It is the least we can do as a country to these people. I have also instructed my ministry, and I told the ministry, I told the commissioner, I told Mrs. Patterson that little old Toyota Hiace bus that they used to use to carry people to funeral, I don't want to see it. So we have ordered a brand new hearse that on the final mile of your journey, you must be buried with dignity that befits the office and the duty and the service that you would have given to this country.
Amid the threat of legal action by the island's judges regarding outstanding salaries and emoluments, Justice Minister Delroy says arrangements are being made for payment. He told our news center last night that Cabinet has signed off on recommendations from the Independent Commission, stating that the matter is now with the Ministry of Finance.
The budget in March, we did not meet with the Chief Justice until sometime in April, when we approved the judicial, the recommendation of the Independent Commission to be laid in Parliament, and that was laid, I think, around early April. And within a week after that, Cabinet signed off on the recommendation to the Ministry of Finance.
The Gleaner newspaper yesterday reported that the judges have written to Prime Minister Andrew Holness demanding immediate action. The Justice Minister outlined what might have caused the delayed payments to the judges.
And I know that there's really a lot of challenges, in terms of ensuring that all the different members of the public sector can be satisfied. So there's no doubt that the compensation package have been signed off by Cabinet, but it runs into hundreds of millions of dollars in back pay, because the back pay goes way back to 2014. And so a significant sum of money must be found in order to satisfy the back pay.
A call this afternoon for more to be done to assist the disabled community, in particular residents of the Cheshire village in Pepin St. Andrew. The call comes from the councillor, who says the residents are talented and budding with potential but just need some assistance.
The residents of the Cheshire village, also known as the Mona Rehabilitation Centre in Pepin St. Andrew, say despite their physical disabilities, they are not only able but eager to work to support themselves. That's why Councillor for the Pepin Division, Venetia Phillips, is making this public appeal for assistance, firstly to the government.
We have persons here at Cheshire Village who can work in offices. They can do stuff. So I believe that we need to make it a matter of policy that we include them in terms of employment. You can make it compulsory that organizations take at least one disabled person who is able to function within the organization, and the government sector too, because they are a part of our community and we need to ensure that we look after their interests.
Among the residents is this budding graphic artist, Kenroy Bailey. The 22-year-old is currently a student at the Heart Academy on Marcus Garvey Drive, but there's a challenge.
As a council was saying, getting to school is kind of hard for me.
It is costing at minimum $400 a day by taxi, because sometimes because of the timing of the buses, he would miss classes, and so it is much easier for him to get a taxi to school.
He is currently unemployed and so cannot sustain this expense. He says he is able to create posters, flyers, and other works to earn. But there's another problem.
Work is good, quality work is good, but not the speed the speed in which people want it. I can't really produce work in that, but if I get a computer, it would be good for me.
So I'm really reaching out to see if we could have some kind-hearted persons in Jamaica, agencies, institutions, just to assist Kenroy in getting to and from school and the provision of meals. Like I said, at minimum $400 a day to get him there and back here to Cheshire Village, home. Also, to assist with his program. He's in need of a computer.
There are other residents with varying skill sets who are also seeking assistance or employment. They too are hoping for the opportunity to be better able to earn for themselves. Herman Green, TVJ News.
We go now to news overseas. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has called for nationwide protests today. Navalny's camp says the rallies will take place in more than 200 cities, regardless of whether the government allows them. We go to the CNN for the details.
Discipline and obedience. The order of the day on Victory Day, Russia's annual military parade. The weekends around Victory Day, a different tune. Russia without Putin, they chant. Shouting into the wind, perhaps, in a country where the president enjoys upwards of 80% approval ratings. But what marks these demonstrations out is the number of young people here. Some just teenagers who've never known anything other than Putin's rule. Corruption was the rallying cry behind a day of protest in late March, organised by opposition activist and blogger Alexei Navalny. Tens of thousands demonstrating in cities across Russia. The Putin generation out in force. Popping up around the same time, videos uploaded by schoolchildren, their teachers lecturing them on topics like patriotism and the hidden dangers of liberalism. Sarkis Darbinyan is a lawyer specialising in digital rights. He says Putin has left it too late to control the web in the same way as he does TV. The Kremlin recently shut down 4 online chat services, and Russian lawmakers are currently debating whether to go ahead with a ban on VPN and Tor browser to stop people from accessing the web anonymously.
Dissent is easy to disseminate online, and unlike the firm grip the Kremlin has over the nation's TV screens, on the web it is playing catch-up. Ahead of next year's presidential elections, there is no doubt that it will be trying hard.
And in sports, the National Gymnastics Federation of Jamaica, formerly the Jamaica Amateur Gymnastics Association, is venturing into a new discipline with trampoline now added to the roster.
Come Sunday, 12 Jamaican coaches and 7 from Trinidad and Tobago would have completed the Level 1 Trampoline Academy workshop run by the International Gymnastics Federation. The discipline is a slight shift from the usual artistic form, but a welcomed one for local gymnastics president Nicole Grant-Brown.
Well, it's a strategic plan to actually start a new discipline in gymnastics in Jamaica. Currently, we only do the artistic gymnastics, but now we are introducing trampoline gymnastics because it also helps with artistic gymnastics. So we really want them to learn the technique, how to coach, a lot of tumbling, because with trampoline gymnastics there is also tumbling, and you know it's at World Champions and Olympics, so we really want to get there as well. We're also looking at that because most of our kids, they are good at trampoline.
The course, which is being conducted by coaches from the United States and England, has already caught the attention of participants.
If a kid is doing something wrong over and over again, we're learning just things that we already know, but it's being reinforced. Like, we can't get frustrated with them, we can't yell at them. We as coaches have to look at them. If we have to video record them, find out what the problem is and come up with alternative ways to help them improve their skill or help them progress, or, you know, help them to realize what they are doing wrong.
And the benefits of the course go beyond just a trampoline.
It's very crucial, very, very crucial as well. One of the events, which is the floor exercise, it revolves pretty much around a lot of tumbling. So, you know, having, you know, the trampoline course being in, we learn a lot of air awareness, how to teach your tumbles better, twists better. It's essential, very essential.
The course has taken on a practical and a theoretical element, but is aimed at helping coaches to adapt to the changes in the sport.
You know, there's a misunderstanding. I think it's not that they're doing it wrong. It's always good to give them advice to be able to try to do it differently, because the sport evolves. and we have to have different mentalities how to change things. Just like anything, we have to make sure we improve, and I think that's what they're realizing, that there's new techniques always evolving, and they're always welcome into that right now. So it's great to see that they're excited about learning new ways of doing things.
Renata Brown for TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Vashon Brown. Join us at 7 for Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, have a good afternoon.